Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. Today we got some topics to go through, but before we get into it, as you can see on your screen right here, we have a comment from Alan Hunkin who says, ask for 200 likes in your next video. So we're going to go for a 200 like target on this one. I'm not sure we're going to make it. If you guys can prove me wrong, that'd be amazing. I appreciate the support. But let's get straight into the video. And we're starting off with new rounds of talk. Chelsea stepping up to sign new striker. As you can imagine, it is Aubameyang, and there's a tweet from Fabrizio Romano who says, Chelsea have scheduled new rounds of talks with Aubameyang's camp this week. Todd Boehly wants to understand conditions of the deal, also on personal terms. Then it'll be time to submit to Barca. Barca want around 30 million euros. Javi still pushing to keep Aubameyang. Obviously, they need money, so this fee is so much higher than it should be. And if Chelsea can't get a deal done on this one, for less than maybe even like 20, 15 million euros, I don't think we should be going anywhere near this. I think Kai and Broja will get us through the season, you know, with all the other support around them, Mason Mount, Raheem Sterling, all these players. I think we'll get through the season. I don't think it's going to be a title challenging season, but I don't think we're that far off. And I don't think spending 30 million on Aubameyang gets us much closer. I don't know. He's a good player, but he's 33, and it's a lot of money to spend when we could go elsewhere. So on this one, there's new talks that are going to happen. If it's what Tuchel wants, this pretty much is a preface to anything regarding transfers. If Tuchel wants them, then I want them. But I can still have my opinion, and that's just it on this one. I don't think this is a move we should be doing for anything near 30 million euros. Next up, we have another update from Fabrizio Romano who says, Chelsea have a feeling they can get Fofana deal done. And as you can see down here, it says that he says, there's an agreement in principle between Chelsea and Wesley Fofana on personal terms. He wants to go to Chelsea, he's been clear with the board and manager and wants to join as soon as possible. Chelsea will try with another bid in the next days and have a feeling they can do it. And then we have a further update coming through Ben Jacobs, who says a little bit more on Fofana. My understanding is Chelsea are not talking of tabling 85 million just yet. 72 plus add-ons of under 10 million was the number discussed. Still want a deal done for under a world record fee for a defender if possible. It's a challenge. Then he adds a back and forth and internal discussion still continuing. No new bid has yet been placed. Leicester's preference is still to listen to offers next summer, as verbally agreed with Fofana when he signed his current contract extension. So we have a bit to unpack there. 85 million is seemingly what Chelsea think will get Leicester to accept, and we're currently at 72 million plus add-ons of under 10 mil, so it probably equals about 79, 78, 77 million. That's how much we're just trying to stay under that world record fee, and it's understandable. I understand the reasoning to it. And then the further bit down below is that he has a verbal agreement with Leicester that next summer this can happen, and I think Leicester's strong stance here is that nothing changes whether they accept it this year or next year. The only thing that changes is they're out of a potentially world-class defender, you know, a promising young talent. So Leicester really do have the upper hand here, and they can just push for this 85 million and say, look, we're not selling unless you go over that, and we know you don't want to go over that. So it gives them a strong point to just keep the player, which I think is obviously going to be their preference here. And they know he's got a long contract, so it's not like another year makes the price go down. If anything, it could go up depending on how his year goes. So, a really difficult situation. Good to see that Chelsea are, you know, it says they're going to try with another bid in the next days. And I imagine it will test Leicester's resolve again, but it's very possible that unless it goes over 80 million, this deal doesn't happen. Then we have the news that Cesare Casadei to fly to London for a Chelsea medical today, ahead of a £12.6 million transfer from Inter Milan. I am gassed for this one. The more I look into the guy, the more he looks like a real talent. Whether I think he's going to be into the first team or into the, you know, development teams, I'm not too sure. Maybe a rotational option in the first teams, especially given that Kante got that hamstring injury in the previous game. Maybe we now really need bodies in midfield. But it's really brilliant to see Todd Boehly, the ownership, Thomas Tuchel, looking to keep the youth recruitment strong. Like, we're not only just, you know, the academy is it big enough in itself and good enough in itself to create good players, as we've seen with players like Mason Mount. We're now going out and buying players for 12 million here and 5 million there, 10 million there, just to increase the quality and increase the competitiveness. So it's a really good deal. It's a potential, you know, add-ons that will, you know, increase with any good bonuses and stuff like that. He's on a 6-year deal. It says that he is part of a succession plan for N'Golo Kante and Jorginho, who both only have a year left on their contracts, and depending on how this season goes, I think it's fair that Jorginho, has always maybe had eyes elsewhere, or at least Chelsea fans have wanted him maybe out of the team over the past couple of years, even though he's been a consistently good performer, but not outstanding, not world class. Kante, whilst he is an amazing player, is getting older, is picking up more injuries, so it makes sense that we've got a player lined up now. In a year's time, he'll be 20. Maybe he gets thrust into the first team, or maybe he'll be, a backup to a player that we buy, and whatever the situation might be. This is a very good transfer for Chelsea, and I'm very happy that we managed to get it done. And £12.6 million, not bad at all. Then we have Matt Law with a report saying that this article that says Anthony Gordon wants to leave Everton for Chelsea, we kind of knew that, and he says it includes the fact that Chelsea want to secure Mason Mount and Reece James to contracts that will cover their entire 20s. Preliminary talks have been held. So what I'm hearing is that they're going to have a 6-year contract offer with an option. I'm not sure if it can be triggered by the club or the player. I assume the club, to extend it by another 12 months or another year. And that is amazing news to me. The fact that Mason Mount and Reece James are on lesser money than some of the guys in our squad is crazy. They deserve to be on good money. And they ideally want to keep them at the club forever, right? If they played their whole careers here, it'd be amazing. So amazing news that we're giving them a 6-year plus a year. Whether they'll agree to it, I don't know, because agents, they like to keep contract renewals every like 2 or 3 years, so they get the agent fee, the signing bonus, all that sort of stuff that comes with it. So brilliant news, and it keeping here through their entire 20s, which would be an absolute dream, I'm sure, for most Chelsea fans. Then we have an update from Nizar Kinsella through the Standard, saying Callum Hudson-Odoi will only be allowed to leave Chelsea on loan this summer, with co-owner Todd Boehly personally pleading with the winger not to force a permanent exit. And I think that's an interesting stance, because we know he's a top talent. We're seeing with Todd Boehly and this ownership that they are giving youth a chance. Maybe, people think Broja should be ahead of Havertz, or Conor Gallagher should get in the midfield more, whatever it might be. They are getting small chances here and there to prove themselves. And Callum Hudson-Odoi, if he goes on loan, I think that could be a good move, just because we don't utilise him. We have other players clearly that Tuchel favours at the moment, especially to cover like wing back and stuff like that, which isn't Callum's natural talent by any means. But he's not letting him go on a permanent exit, or at least trying his best not to. And that's really good news in my opinion, because Callum, the talent could be right like through the roof. So it'd be silly to let him go in my opinion. And I'm happy to hear this. Todd Boehly doing good stuff. Then we have an update from Graham Bailey, who says Pedro Neto could become deadline target for a number of Premier League clubs. Arsenal, Chelsea and United amongst clubs informed about his potential availability. And I just thought I'd highlight this as, a potentially interesting one. Pedro Neto out of Wolves has been a bit of a star in that team at times. So potentially, it's not a definite. We've been informed of his availability. So at least we know that if we don't get whatever our main targets might be, then Pedro Neto is an option. Do I think he elevates us to a world-class team that's going to challenge Man City and Liverpool? No, but I do think he'd be a good player, and I'd be intrigued to see how he could do at Chelsea. But that's just a little tidbit at the end. I don't think there's much in this one. But that's going to be the end of the video, guys. If you did enjoy it, leave a like. Remember, we're going for 200 on this video, which blows my mind if we can get that one. Thank you very much. Hit subscribe and the notification bell, and you'll never miss out on a future video. Thank you for watching. I'll see you on the next one. Goodbye.